And
it was perfect. It like really pulled the whole song together.
I remember listening to it in my car and like sobbing, just like, oh, we don't have anything to worry about now. And then we had the idea, I think Ehren had the idea that we would try using some homemade sounding percussion sounds for the backbeat. So that started with...
The names of these.
That started with, yeah, there's the titles of these tracks are Fingers, Nuts, Bamboo, and Rocks. Yeah, I think, what do you think, Fingers or Nuts came first?
I think because we sat around the snare or whatever we were using, and we all just like kind of like...
Yeah, there's probably a video on
There
your
is a video.
Instagram.
I took a video of it.
Yeah, so this is the sound of the three of us sitting in a circle around a snare drum with the snares off, tapping our fingers in sort of like a little... See? Same nuts.
Yeah, it's great. And so that is completely sealed. It hasn't been opened at all.
It was open.
So
it's probably horribly moldy inside now. That's actually the real reason I haven't opened it, is that, kind of don't want to know. But it's still functional as percussion. It hasn't spoiled in that regard. Yeah, so we combine the fingers and the nuts, and that sounds like this. Sort of like the like rain on the roof. This track is called Bamboo. We'll listen to it, and then we'll discuss what it was when we remember. Oh yeah, it's the sound of breaking some of Aaron's bamboo sticks. And then there was a bag of rocks that was just hanging around the Airbnb. That sounds like this. Yeah, and then all those together kind of make this thing. Just kind of this, like lots of little attacks sprinkled down, and we can add the bass drums back in. That's the foundation. And then I was feeling like it needed a little bit more subdivision. So there's the sound of me playing like a brush, like a drumming brush, just against my hand a couple times. It's kind of got this like squishy, like there's the sound of the brush hitting the hand, and then the sound of the sweat releasing the brush.
Sick.
So then there's some toms in that second verse there. So if you combine that drum or that percussion groove with our guitars and the vocal, you get this.
Bed sheets, no clothes, touch me like nobody else does. Lovely to just lay
So that's sort of the fingerprint of that second verse, and then for up until the very last minute there was some of my pretty bad bass playing on this, but we ended up having Sean Hurley replace it. He did a really beautiful job, and it was one of those things where I had the part figured out and was happy with it, but it was just sort of like the bass was going to be such a focus in the mix, especially in the second verse, that it was like, I just need the perfect tone and the sound of somebody with just like magic fingers, and that's Sean.
Bed sheets,
Just like brings so much.
Touch me like nobody else does. Lovely.
And there's Aaron's beautiful grand piano playing.
Bed sheets, no.
Just can't go wrong with open tenths.
Touch me like nobody else does. Lovely to just lay here with you.
And then the big thing that we haven't talked about at all on this song is we had Rob Moose record and write just this like stunning string arrangement.
So good.
And it was
perfect. It like really pulled the whole song together.
I remember listening to it in my car and like sobbing, just like, oh,
So good.
we don't have anything to worry about now.
Here with you. You're kinda cute.
Can we listen to those soloed?
Yeah, let's listen to the strings on their own. Or here, I'll play them with the guitars.
any direction in terms of the kind of strings that you
No,
wanted?
so I was having a conversation with Ethan Greska right before we were going to record this, or we were going to send this to Rob, and I was like, do I tell Rob anything, or does he just nail it? And he's like, just don't tell him anything. He doesn't need anything. And it turned out to be totally true. He we sent 3 songs on the record to him to write and record strings on. Ceilings,
That's away.
Weird, and Called
You Again.
And it was all of those situations. There was like no notes. It was just he just nailed it on the first go.